Good afternoon, everyone. I am Niraja, and it's truly a pleasure to welcome you all to yet another session of our webinar series. It has been quite a while since we last hosted a cultural immersion series, and we felt that this was the perfect time to come together and learn about a country that many of our scholars and alumni proudly call home. And of course, that country is none other than Nigeria, famously known as the giant of Africa. And to guide on this exciting 1 hour journey, we are honored to have with us our distinguished speaker, Mrs. Ifunanya Isika. So, talking about her, she's a medical laboratory scientist, public health researcher, writer, and social impact advocate from Eastern Nigeria, a graduate of Namdi Ezekwe University with second class upper honors. She is also a WMI graduate scholar and a panelist at the 2023 WMI Dream Big Conference, which was held in Kenya. Passionate about education and community development, she founded the Train a Child initiative in 2022, which had so far supported 25 children from remote communities to access basic and secondary education. Alongside her nonprofit and research work in infectious diseases, she is an active public speaker and mentor, delivering talks on health, education, and personal development across schools, churches, and communities. So, with that being said, and without keeping you guys wait any longer, let's warmly welcome Mrs. Ifunanya as she takes us through the incredible beauty and essence of Nigeria. So, all over to you, Mrs. Ifunanya.
Thank you very much, Niraja, for that beautiful introduction. And I'm happy to be here as the speaker talking about Nigeria. So we're going to look at Nigeria. We're going to look about everything concerning Nigeria. And like you all know, Nigeria is a wonderful country. Everybody have heard about Nigeria, Nigeria, Nigeria. So I'll be taking you all through a story, a display of our Nigerian culture, who we are as Nigerians, and why we are unique as Nigerians. So I'll start first of all by, if you've joined, you join, please go to the chat section, indicate your name, just as Nimaja has said, and the country where you're joining us from. Let's see the diversity of people that are in this webinar. It will make it more fun as we see Nigeria. Okay, I'll be sharing the screen now, or Femi, will you be doing that, or should I go ahead to share my screen? Femi, can you hear me?
Uh, yeah, I think Ifunanya, it's good if you share the screen because I don't think he's with us.
Okay, I'm already starting. Can you see my screen, please? If you can, please indicate.
Yes, yes, we can see your screen.
Yes.
Okay, so, all right, thank you very much. So first of all, exploring Nigerian culture, a comprehensive cultural immersion by Ifnaya Isika. So the content for this, we'll be looking at introduction to Nigeria, we'll be looking at the geography and demographic overview, the rich tapestry of Nigerian culture, our food, our dishes, the language, major languages, religion, our traditional beliefs, practices, art, music, Nigerian way of life, everyday life, and we have a question and answer and then a thank you. Now, first of all, we need to know that Nigeria is a country that's rich in culture and a lot of things. So it's talking about Nigeria, we're talking about a vast number of things. We have, Nigeria is a multilingual country, so we're looking at different ethnic groups, different languages, but I'll try as much as possible to narrow the scope so we can be able to finish in time. Now, introduction to Nigeria, a cultural immersion. This presentation will look into the multi-faced cultural landscape of Nigeria, one of Africa's most populous and culturally rich nation. Now, Nigeria is a country in Africa, like we all know. It consists of 36 states, having its capital in Abuja. Now, if you have seen from the beginning of my slide, my introduction, you'll see the colors I use. That is our Nigerian flag, and that's our coat of arms. And Niraja, I really like the fact that your background was having the Nigerian color symbol, the green, white, and green there. So it's really signifying that this is Nigeria we are talking about. Now, going to the geographic and demographic overview. Now, Nigeria is located specifically in West Africa, and it covers about 923,768 square meter. Then we have vast, diverse ecological zone. You can see the mangrove swamp, you can see the savanna, you can see the rainforest. That's why you can get variety of animals here. And we also have our semi-desert regions, which are mostly countries located in the north. Now we have Africa. Nigeria is one of the most populous country in Africa, having about 200 million persons, making it the seventh most populous nation in the world. So Nigeria is not just a country, Nigeria is also a very populated country also. And you know the unique thing is Nigeria have more of youth in its population. When you look at the population dynamics, 60% of Nigerian populations are youth, while the remaining 40% are the elderly and children. So we have more of active people here in Nigeria than we have in some other countries of the world, where majority of their population are aged persons. But in Nigeria, we have more of younger persons that are very, very, very vibrant here in Nigeria. So let's look at the popular cities in Nigeria. Now, Nigerians, when you hear about Nigeria, you hear about Lagos, you hear about Abuja, you talk about Port Harcourt, you talk about Calabar, you talk about Kano, you talk about Onitsha. Now, Lagos was once the capital of Nigeria before it was moved to Abuja, and Lagos is is not so big in landmass, but is a city of industrialization. When a lot of companies have their headquarters in Lagos, is an area of business, is an area of industrialization. The workforce there is much. Employment opportunities there is also high. So you must get something doing in Lagos. We also have Abuja. Abuja is a very beautiful city. It's our capital, it's our federal capital territory, where the capital of Nigeria is. So we also have Port Harcourt, the land of oil. We also have Calabar, that's attracted a lot of tourist attraction by the Calabar Annual Festival. We also have Kano and we have Onitsha. Onitsha is one of the cities that has the largest market in West Africa. It's located in Onitsha. It's called Onitsha Main Market. So it's one of the largest markets we have in West Africa. So you can see that Nigeria is really making a lot of rounds all over the world. Now let's look at the rich tapestry of Nigerian culture. Now, Nigeria has unique cultural diversity. We have over 250 ethnic groups, and each of these ethnic groups have their unique languages, their unique customs, and their unique traditions. But out of those 250 ethnic groups, we have three major ethnic groups in Nigeria, and they are the Hausas, the Igbos, and the Yoruba. And I'm proudly from the Igbo tribe. So each of those ethnic groups, like I said, you're unique in dressing, you're unique in food, you're unique in cultural practices. So from the dressing of an Hausa man, you can tell this person is an Hausa, even without him telling me that it's Hausa. From his presentation, from his tribal marks, you can tell, oh, this person is a Yoruba man. So that is how unique and diverse our culture and our ethnic groups can be. Now, from that, we're taking a look at the next thing, which is our food. Nigerians have delicacy. Now, we have various kinds of food made, not just food, like traditional food that are rich in a lot of nutrients, that are rich in a lot of minerals. And this food have its cultural significance. Like I said earlier, every ethnic group have their own food. As an Igbo person, I have my own local food that I can make. That when I come and I give you the food, you're going to know that, it's like I'm Igbo because of the food I was able to prepare. So that's how unique. And this food are not just made, they are made with natural ingredients that can help our bodies and are good for our gut. So that's one thing about Nigerian food. Now we'll be looking at the different Nigerian dishes. Now we have core Nigerian food though. This core Nigerian food are like yam. I don't know whether you've heard of yam. We have cassava, we have rice, we have plantain. These ones are core. Every Nigerian eats this one. Now we also have our national dishes. You must have heard about the Nigerian jollof. It makes its rounds on the social media where you argue Nigerian jollof and Ghanaian jollof, which one is better. If you go to the chat section, you can just tell us, oh, I haven't tasted the Ghanaian jollof yet, but I believe it should be as good as Nigerian jollof. But Nigerian jollof is Nigerian jollof rice. So Nigerian jollof rice, we have also pounded yam. We can bring yam, we cook yam, and we pound it. So it gives us this consistency where you can use it to eat any soup of your choice. So we have different kinds of soup depending from where you're coming from. We have the egusi, we have ogbono, you have insala. So, and each of these types of soup are specific to a particular group of people. For instance, if you go to the Yorubas have what we call ewedu and amala. If Femi was here, he's going to concur with me because I know he's Yoruba. So that is one of their delicacy. If you attend a Yoruba function, a function hosted by a Yoruba man, the first thing he's going to serve you is ewedu and amala. Then you know that you are in a Yoruba event. Now, if you come down to Igbo land here, if you come to our event, we can serve you something like fufu and egusi soup or fufu and bitter leaf soup. So this is one of our delicacies here. If you go to the north, they can serve you something like tuwo chinkafa. So that is their popular dish there in the northern country. So can you imagine that even content creators in Nigeria here go from place to place, from town to town, sampling various dishes. They use it as a form of content to tell people, oh, I'm in Lagos and this is a popular Lagos dish. Can you join me? Let's eat. Let's see how it is. So it's something for someone to explore. So when you come to Nigeria, ensure you try to look at some of our dishes. Now, this is a picture of our Nigerian jollof. Like you see the jollof here on the screen. So these are jollof coated with plantain and then turkey. This is the typical Nigerian jollof. And then this is our egusi soup I told you with fufu. It's unique to the Igbo people, though it's eaten in other parts of Nigeria too. Just like I said, cooking, it's like a skill. If you know how to cook this, you do it. So egusi soup, and this is amala and ewedu soup representing the Yorubas. And this is masa. The Hausas call this masa. So that's what we use. Now for the egusi and fufu, fufu is made with something we call cassava. It's one of the fermented products. Now one unique thing about our food is that most of the things used to prepare in Nigerian food are mostly fermented products. And because these products are fermented, they are also good for our gut because they increase a lot of bacteria present. This is me talking from the point of a medical laboratory scientist and a health practitioner. So some of these fermented food are good for us. It's good for your stomach. So some of all those products we use for making our food, we have different kinds of natural ingredients we use to make food. These are what increases the richness of our food. And for every soup we cook in Nigeria, there must be a vegetable in it. So the likelihood of getting vitamins is quite high because you can't cook a soup without vegetable in it. So we proceed. So that's that on food. Now we go to languages of Nigeria. Now in Nigeria, we normally say unity in diversity. Now Nigeria is vast. We have various ethnic groups, various languages, but the most important thing is we are united as a people. Now, apart from we having 250 ethnic groups, we have 500 indigenous languages. Can you imagine that? That is a whole lot of language for just one country. So we have diverse languages. For instance, I'm Igbo, and I might have someone else that's also Igbo, but we are not from the same village. So they might speak a different accent from what I speak. So that is it. So that is the different indigenous languages we're talking about. So we have Igbos, they still have their own unique language or dialects as unique to a particular people. So these are what causes the diversity that we have. Though we have a centralized language, yes, but we also have different dialects in one ethnic group. So this linguistic diversity fosters a unique sense of identity and heritage. For instance, I'm using Igbo because I'm an Igbo person. For instance, when someone from another side of Igbo speaks, I can know where they're coming from through their dialect. So that is how unique they are. So it's a means of identification. Language is a very powerful means of identification of a certain group of people. But despite the differences, despite our diversity, we'll still find a way to bring ourselves together and reach a common goal. That's it about the Nigerians. Now, our major language and linguistic heritage. Our official language in Nigeria is English. English is our lingua franca. We use English to teach in schools. We use language for business meetings. We use business and English for a whole lot of things because that's what brings us together as a people. But apart from English, which is our official language, you also have major indigenous languages like the Hausa, mostly in the northern part of the country consists of the Hausas. And then you come to the western part of the country, the southwest consists of the Yorubas, and then the Igbos in the southeast region. And then we also have another language which we call the Pidgin English. So most of us must have heard of Nigerian Pidgin. We have Pidgin from different African countries, but we have what we call the Nigerian Pidgin. You can't be a Nigerian and you don't speak Pidgin because literacy level is not so high. Like you can go to a remote community and you don't speak their language and you need to communicate. So what do you use? You use our Pidgin English. So Pidgin English is a kind of reformed Nigerian English where we used to communicate that even people from remote communities that don't really speak English properly and you can't speak their language, they can still communicate with Pidgin. Let me give an instance of Pidgin language. For instance, I say in English, the girl is beautiful. The girl is beautiful. Now, in the Nigerian Pidgin, I will say the girl fine, like the girl fine or that girl fine. So that's the Nigerian Pidgin slang. So I hope at the head of this section, you'll be able to say, I did there's something we call Nigerian Pidgin. So I just learned how we say Nigerian Pidgin. So it's also a means of communication here in Nigeria. And in all this, we have been able to unify as a people to be able to communicate adequately. Now, we also look at religion in Nigeria. Now, religion in Nigeria, we talk about a lot of things. Religion plays a role in Nigeria in shaping our youth, in shaping our character and personality. Religion plays a major role in shaping personality here in Nigeria. And in Nigeria, we practice two major religions. We have the Christian religion and the Islamic religion. If you look at the picture there, you see a Christian in church and you see the Muslims that are praying. Now, the Christian and the Muslim, now in the northern part of the country, you have more of Muslims there. Then when you come down to the western and the eastern and the western part of the country, you have mixed Muslims, Christians. You have Muslim Christian, but they are more predominantly Christians. In Christianity and Islamic, Nigerians are traditional people. Before Christianity came into Nigeria, we had a system of worship. We had how we communicate with our God. So the traditional African traditional religion, it's still being practiced in a whole lot of community. So traditional African belief system continues to be practiced by various communities, and we also coexist with Christianity and Islam. So they have a system of worship where they reverence, talk about ancestors. If you watch our Nigerian movies, you see where they talk about ancestors, you see where they talk about deities, you see where they talk about spirits, they talk about reincarnation, talk about getting protection, blessings, asking questions. So those things are part of our traditional beliefs, and people who are traditional worshippers believe in this system. So there are still a lot of people and communities that still do this traditional system of worship. both for the Northerners, the Hausas, the Igbos, the Yoruba, every Nigerian, some communities in Nigeria here still practice this system of worship. Now, this is a picture of a traditional worshiper. So you see some of the display, the idols and the person, how they dressed. This is how most of their shrines look like, where they have their worship sections. So we also have other traditional practices, customs, and rituals. Now, Nigeria is rich in culture, we are rich in customs. So we have a lot of traditional practices. We have significant ceremonies like naming ceremonies. We have chieftaincy titles and installation. We have unique traditional dances. We have communal feasts. So every community can have their own unique and individual activity that they want to do. It becomes their custom, it becomes a system that is carried out every year. So we also have chieftaincy installation when a person from a particular community, the community looks at the person and says, this person is rich in character. You're doing well as a person. He has good personality. The community can come together and say, okay, please come, we want to give you a title. And then the person comes, we give them a title. The community comes together and install a title on that person. You must have heard of when they want to introduce a Nigerian, they say chief this, chief this. So these are traditional titles. Or you can also on your own, if you feel you're capable, you can just say, okay, come to your people and say, please, I want to take up this chieftaincy title. What do I need to do to pick up this title? So you've been installed your chieftaincy title in the traditional way. If you look at the picture here, you see him, the Igwe, this is an Igbo chieftaincy title, when he's installing a chieftaincy title upon someone. So this is how it is typically done. It is done by the leader of the community. The chief leader of the community installs the chieftaincy title on a person, and the person begins to go by that title. So now we look at prominent festivals. Just like I said, Nigeria is rich in a lot of things. Now we have what we call the New Yam Festival for the Igbo. Like when I was talking about food, I mentioned about yam. I said yam is one of the core Nigerian food. I don't know that the yam is displayed on the screen here. So this is what our yam looks like here in Nigeria. So the New Year Festival are done by Igbos. New Year Festival for the Igbos mark a new year. So we celebrate a new year with the New Yam Festival. When you go to the farm, you get your yam, and then you do a festival, a ceremony by the community before you begin to eat your yam. So the New Yam Festival is unique and peculiar to the Igbos because yam is a symbolic item for the Igbos. In Nigeria, you can't steal yam. If you steal yam, it's considered an abomination. It's like a sacrilege here in Igbo land to steal yam. So if you put your yam, if you plant your yam in the farm, it stays there, nobody goes there because they know the consequences of going to steal yam from the farm. So that's that on New Year Festival for the Igbos. And then the Igbos also believe in what we have 7 days in a week. The Igbos practice what we call a 4-day market day. Like Igbos consider it to be 4 days in a week instead of 7 days in a week. They have the Eke, they have the Orie, they have the Afo, they have the Unkwo. So these 4 days is their 1 week. And then they consider they have 8 months in a year. So this is how they run their yearly calendar year in Igbo land. Now we also have the Eyo Festival. This is for the Yorubas in Lagos, where they celebrate their god, they called Eyo. So it's a typical ancestral thing. They have been doing it all over the years, and it's peculiar to the people of what? Lagos. Now we have the Dudu Festival in Hausa. So this one, the Emir is like the chief leader of a community in the north. We call him the Emir. Now the Emir leads with his entourage, with his fellow people. They go on a horse ride. That's how they celebrate that festival. It's showing strength. It's showing their military might. So these festivals are done on yearly basis. Now we talk about art and music and dance. Every Nigerian culture or ethnic group has their own unique art. They have their own unique music and also have their own unique dance. what we dance as an Igbo person is not what you dance as a Yoruba person. What you dance as an Hausa person is not what another person would also dance. So we have different dance. We also have our different musical instruments. We have our different stories. We have our folklores. Our folk tales are stories that are told from generation to generation. My parents told me about a particular community, told me about how our community came up. We also pass that same story down to our children. So this is our way of passing down history. We might not actually have a written piece here in Nigeria, but they have people that tell those stories over the years. You told the story, you give birth to your child, and you tell your child, this is how this tree came to be planted in our community. So this is how we pass traditions. This is how we pass down customs in Nigeria. And we also have, like we said dance is a powerful form of expression, with each ethnic group having unique dancing styles that convey stories, celebrate events, or express religious devotion. Now we also have our Nigerian way of life, community and family values. Now Nigerians have a lot of value, and they value respect, they value family. We practice more of extended family system here, but with Christianity and religion, a lot of things have been curtailed. We now have a nuclear family. But originally, Nigerians are known for extended family system. So in despite the extended family system, we still teach respect for elders. We still teach children to respect people. We still find a way to bring in cooperation amongst ourselves and among communities. So that's why we had a communal system of living before industrialization era, where people now leave their hometown to other cities to live. Formerly, people live in their community as a group of people. They come together, they live, they share things in common, they eat in common, they do things in common. And respect for the Yoruba, when a Yoruba person wants to greet, they prostrate, they lie down flat and they greet. The Igbos will bow and greet. The women, if you want to greet the men, you don't give them a handshake like it's done. You just bend your back a little bit and the man taps the back of the woman. That shows what? Respect. So the Yorubas, if you want to greet your elder, you lie down flat and then you greet. So these are all values that they have kept over the years. The same thing goes for the answers too. So disrespect is not accepted here in Nigeria. And we have a system where you're not the only one that cushions a child. We believe in a child is trained not just by the family, but by the community. So when a child does something wrong, you come as a people and then you correct it. You might be working on the road and child doesn't beat. The person beats the child and says, go home and tell your dad that I beat you. So this is one of the things you see here in Nigeria. So now let's look at our everyday life and social dynamics. Now, daily life in Nigeria is characterized by bustling markets, vibrant streets, strong sense of communal interactions. And we also have social dynamics, which are influenced by respect for hierarchy. Like I said, we respect age, traditional norms, alongside with modern influences. So we have a lot of respect. We also have what we call hospitality. Nigerians are a very hospitable people. If you come and visit a Nigerian person, the person, if he doesn't have food, if you go to his neighbor to borrow food, the person must first of all give you something to eat. If you refuse to eat, you must at least drink water. So Nigerians are very welcoming people. So when you have a host or a guest comes into your house, you're supposed to bring kola nut to them. We call it kola nut here in Igbo language. You present them something that this thing shows that you're welcome. If you don't present anything to them, the person might assume that they are not welcome in your home. But when you present something to them, it shows that what? They are welcome. Now we look at tourism in Nigeria. Nigeria is a site for a lot of tourist attractions. We have a lot of things that attract people to Nigeria. We have the Yankari National Park, we have the Gurara Waterfall, and we have our Aso Rock. So now I'm going to show us an image of this. This is the Yankari National Park. This is it over here. We also have the Aso Rock in Abuja. It's very gigantic. And we also have our Obudu Cattle Ranch here in Calabar. This is a national park reserve where you see a lot of animals. This is our Aso Rock. It's a very huge rock you see in Abuja. And we also have Obudu Cattle Ranch here in Calabar. It's also a national reserve too, where there are a lot of animals. So when you come to Nigeria, please ensure to visit one of these parks. Now, we also have our proud museum artifacts. Now, we have the Benin Royal artifacts. We have the Queen Idia ivory marks. Now, these things were made in the olden times by the Benin. The Benin were known for their crafts. Now, you can just imagine how beautiful this piece was. As of so many years ago, this piece was made. So you can see how rich and how talented the Nigerians can be. And some of those works were taken away by the Europeans during colonization. But thankfully, we were able to recover some of our pieces, and they are displayed in our National Museum. So you can appreciate them right here. These are the Benin Royals. This is the Benin King. It's called the Oba. This is his queen, and this is the Queen Idia. So she was once a queen of Benin. So this is a sculpture of that, and is one of the greatest of Benin's treasures. These treasures, this museum reflect the people, and they are something Nigerians pride themselves with. To also look at natural resources and cash crops of Nigeria. Like we all know, Nigeria is the sixth in oil production, crude oil production in the world. So it's one of our major sources of income in Nigeria is crude oil. We all know crude oil to be one of the sources of petroleum, gas, kerosene, and other products are gotten from crude oil. So we see that in Nigeria too. We also have different cash crops like the palm oil, the granules, the cocoa which you use for your beverages, your chocolate are made from cocoa. We also have cotton which we use for our clothes. We also have our plantain, we have cashew nuts, and we have our coconut. Now, I want to look at something before we round up when we're talking about languages of Nigeria. I wanted to look at this picture here. Now, this family you're looking right here is a typical Igbo family. You can see their outfit. We call this outfit the Ishiagu outfit. So it has a lion head drawn on it. So it's called the Ishiagu outfit. We also have the red cap the man is wearing indicate that he's a titled man. He has a chieftaincy title. So he can be called a chief. So this one here is the Yoruba people. Now this is a typical Yoruba couple. This is the bride and this is the husband. Now this, what they are putting is what we call the Ashoke. It's one of the things the Yorubas value so much, and they make it by themselves. So they have a traditional way where they weave ashoke and they wear it like this. And it's very, very beautiful. And this is a beautiful Hausa couple. So these dresses is how you want to dress for a traditional wedding. So when you have a traditional wedding here in Nigeria, you dress according to your ethnic group. Various ethnic groups have their various traditional dressing and how you represent yourselves. This shows how you're supposed to be. So that's what I wanted to draw our attention with. I also want to let us know that Nigeria, talking about Nigeria can take us a whole day because Nigeria, it has very different kinds of culture, different kinds of ethnic groups that we see here in Nigeria. So I also wanted us to look at I wanted us to also look at prominent festivals we have in Nigeria. I wanted us to look at this masquerade. Now, the masquerade you see here is called the Ijele masquerade. Now, this masquerade is a masquerade that comes out in the New Yam Festival or different festivals in Igbo land. So they normally have display of masquerades. Masquerades are also a strong point of tourist attraction. People come to different communities. I can go from my community to another community just to watch their masquerade display, watch their masquerade dance. This is how we appreciate our culture as a people. So the same thing goes for the Yorubas. So they also use this masquerade and their covered dance to display themselves as a people. So whenever someone sees this Ijele masquerade, it's considered one of the biggest masquerades in Igbo land. So you know that this is coming from the Igbo people. So Nigeria is a country that's rich in a lot of things. Talking about Nigeria will take us a whole lot of time. but I can't stop talking about Nigeria because Nigeria is beautiful and we have beautiful, talented people ranging from music, art, even in the music, in drama, Nigerians Nollywood industry, our films rank the second in the whole world. So we're doing so well. Even in music, we have prominent artists like Davido and the rest of them here in Nigeria. Now, to, now, to summarize, we've talked about Nigeria is a nation of profound cultural diversity, rich in traditions and dynamic structure. We describe the Nigerian people as vibrant. They are connected to heritage through language, cuisine, art, and community values. Now, thank you for embracing Nigerian in heritage. Thank you for coming to know about Nigeria. And thank you for this cross-cultural interaction. It was an honor to be here. And then before we go, I want us to take home something. I want to say thank you to you all, but I want you to say it in different Nigerian dialects. So we're going to start with the Igbo. Now in Igbo, if we want to say thank you, we say Jalu. We say Jalu. I don't know why. Can just someone unmute themselves and say Jalu? Let me know that people are listening to what I'm saying.
Yes,
Can
Ifananya,
someone just say
yes.
Jalu?
Dalu.
I
Yes.
can.
In Igbo, we
Okay.
say
Hello.
Jalu. Uh-huh. Thank
Eshe.
you. Thank you very much. Okay, in Europe, yes, in Yoruba we say Eshe. Femi, thank you very much. And
Okay, in
then in
Yoruba,
Hausa, we say Nagode. In Yoruba, you say what? I want to know what you say.
in Yoruba, we say Wekobiro.
Wekobiwo, Nigerians in the house, please let's say thank you in our various languages. Hausa, as we say Nagode. Is there anybody from Calabar? Nobody. Okay. So thank you very much for listening and joining Nigerians on this journey of cultural immersion. I hope I met your expectations and thank you very much and God bless you. Over to you, Niraja.
Am I visible and audible as well?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so you taught us how to say thank you, Ifananya, so I'll just try my best. So, Dalu, right? So, yes, I'd like to say you, Dalu, for this wonderful presentation. I'm from South Asia, and it was very enriching to hear about everything of Nigeria. When you were talking about the food, I literally got water in my mouth when you said jollof rice and and when you showed that picture I was like, oh my God, you know I already felt so hungry. But yes, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. You covered everything from food, language, ethnic groups to museum to beautiful places of Nigeria. I don't think you left any other areas to show us more about Nigeria. So thank you so much for doing that. And yeah, like how much I enjoyed this presentation. I hope everybody enjoyed it as much. And now I really feel like I want to visit Nigeria, very soon. And I hope I can do it in days to come. Is there any question from our audience that you want to hear about Nigeria that you want to personally ask to Ifunanya? Then you can do it right now. Like, any kind of myths that you want to break, anything that you've heard about Nigeria that you want to confirm with Ifunanya if that's true or not, then maybe we can take this time to discuss on that. If not, then it's time for us to say goodbye. So I would just look into chat if there are any questions for our speaker. Yeah, so I've already there is one interesting comment here. So Somebody's saying, tell me something about bitter leaf. So does Nigeria has anything to do with bitter leaf?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so what's the context?
Okay.
What's the context behind it? We'd love to know that.
Okay. Now, bitter leaf is a leaf, just like you said. It's a leaf and it's bitter. Now, I guess the person wants to know about bitter leaf soup. Bitter leaf soup is an Igbo delicacy. It's a must-have for every festival or every event in Igbo. We use the leaf, you wash the leaf to the extent that you can't taste that bitter taste goes out. Just it's a little bit bitter, but not so bitter. And then you use traditional ingredients like thickeners. We have what we call ede. It's cocoyam in English. We call it ede. We use the cocoyam as a thickener to thicken up the soup, and then we use the bitter leaf as the leaf, the washed bitter leaf as the leaf, and then it comes with assorted meats, enough protein, different kinds of proteins in the soup, and then you can use your fufu to eat it. So that is our bitter leaf soup. And please, it's a must try if you come to Nigeria. If you haven't eaten it, just put an order. We'll send it to your country, wherever you're coming from. We'll cook it and we'll send it for you. Thank you.
Oh, I see. So if it's not bitter when it's cooked and served, then definitely I'd like to try. Any more questions? Well, I don't think we have more questions. So, yes, with this, I'd like to wrap up this webinar. We promise to come next month with another interesting webinar, maybe not of cultural immersion series, but of other topics. But yes, we hope to conduct these kind of cultural immersion series in future as well. So stay tuned for that. But for now, thank you so much, Ifananya, and thank you so much, everyone who took out your time and participated in this webinar. I had a wonderful time. I hope you all had as well. So with this note, I'd like to say goodbye to everyone and hoping to see you in coming months as well. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.